Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm going to be doing a little series here of me getting ready for Modern Warfare. I'm starting to get excited. It's only a couple weeks away. Just first point out real quick, I bought an SSD that I have like an external, I have a cool little adapter for USB to SSD. So as you see right there, in every single game I play, I get in and pick my specialist, and I am at least 10 seconds ahead of the game, loading into the game, than anyone else. Every single game, I load in, and it's at least until 20, which means a third of the time of the like pre-game lobby or whatever, I'm in there by myself, and no one else is in there because my game loads so fast. So that's kind of sick. So this is Black Ops 4. And this is on Nuketown. It's a Nuketown 24/7 playlist. This gameplay is from a few days ago, so it's during the Double XP. The Double XP is not still active, but at least on Xbox. I don't know about PlayStation, but at least on Xbox it's not still active. And the Nuketown playlist is actually still available. For me, at least. It's not Double XP anymore. But, oh, that's weird. I didn't even see that guy until I watched the thing. So, I had just prestiged when this happened, so I'm using a Cordite. I'm just using the standard class. This is not the gun I've been using. I did try it a bunch, and it wasn't really working for me when I first came back to multiplayer. So, today I'm going to be talking about aim, basically, because aim is, obviously one of the most important things in Call of Duty. Probably the most important thing in Call of Duty. At least it should be. I'll say that. It has become less important in previous years with all these different things and equipment and just kill streaks and all that kind of stuff, but aim is still how you're going to get the majority of your kills. So the reason I'm playing multiplayer at all is because I'm trying to get ready for Modern Warfare. And I'm going to be grinding it for weeks. I've already been playing it for a couple weekends in a row, and now I'm going to progress to most of the days. Instead of playing Blackout, I'm going to be playing this and just getting my aim up. Now, the first thing to keep in mind is your sensitivity and the gun you're going to use, or like the type of class you're going to use. So historically, I've always been I used to be an LMG guy, and then as I started to play more with LMGs, it started to become a little bit too slow for me, and so I moved on to assault rifles, and that's where I was for several years. I think what happened, I started tapering off a little bit as far as like my kill-death ratio and stuff in some of the later games, and I think that's because I was probably playing more like a submachine gunner while using assault rifles, and that's pretty much not going to do any favors for you. So the thing to think about here is you want to be playing something that you think you're going to be playing in Modern Warfare. So if you feel like you're going to be using a lot of LMGs, don't be running around with submachine guns the whole time, because that's not going to really help you. Same if you're going to be sniping a lot, then obviously be sniping. You want to be as ready as you can, so that when the game comes out you can hit the ground running. So I've decided that I want to be a submachine gunner, and I like that playstyle. I've kind of always liked that playstyle, but it takes a lot of dedication to make that work, and there were a game or two where I tried it, like Black Ops 1 and those type of games, and I wasn't able to really make it work, because it takes you have to be rushing a lot, but it also takes you have to be paying attention. You can't just autopilot rush. So consider what class you're going to be using, what type of class you're going to be using. And I would say this, if you're really trying to train for Modern Warfare like I am, you shouldn't be using any perks that are maybe not going to be in that game. Obviously, you guys have all played, if you're watching this, you probably played the beta, or you've at least watched content. I have not. I have seen zero things about the game. I've purposely gone completely dark. I know absolutely nothing about the game. So, you might know what perks are in there, but just in general, things like lightweight and attachments like the stock, which make you move faster while aiming down the sight, those are things you probably don't want to be using, because if you get used to using those, then it basically becomes like a crutch in a way, and then when the new game comes out, you may not be any good without that. And the best example I can give you for that is Modern Warfare 3. I played that game a lot. I had 47 days in multiplayer in that 1 year, which is a lot. And I used the ACR, which was an assault rifle, but I used the perk called Stalker. And the perk called Stalker was basically a stock for the gun. It gave you increased ADS speed. So I basically was ADSing and moving like a submachine gunner while using an assault rifle. And it was really great. But your aiming is different. When you're trying to finesse your aiming and you're moving with a submachine gun, you're strafing a lot faster while you're aimed down sight. So your aim has to adjust more. So your right thumb is going to move left or right more to center on the target than it would with any other type of gun. And so for like games after that. Like we're talking like 20 to 30 days of playtime, which was several games for me. I just couldn't aim at all, and it was totally ruined. So you don't want to be using stuff like that. So keep in mind your sensitivity relative to the type of guns you're going to be using. You know, if you're going to be using submachine guns, then you can have a little bit higher sensitivity. You obviously don't want to go too high. I know all of you guys have seen those guys that run it too high. Like you're watching Search and Destroy or something, and it makes you sick to your stomach watching the guy play. You know, you don't want that. You want something that's manageable. So one of the things I think is most important is standardizing your sensitivity, because when you play a lot at a certain sensitivity, you get really good aiming. And then if you were to change that sensitivity, then your aiming is basically shot. Like, you know, your muscle memory from aiming like that kind of goes away. So it's important to standardize that. And I came up with a physical move that I do, which allows me to standardize the sensitivity, and it works ultra well if you're worried about it. So what I do is I run forward, and I jump in the air, and then I spin, just a single jump. I mean, you can't do double jumps in this game anyway, but single jump, spin as far as I can, and then when my feet hit the ground, I stop. And that gives me an exact idea of how far I can turn. And then what I do is I do that 5 times, and that gives you a really good average of where you should be doing that. And if that's a sensitivity you like, then all you have to do when you get to the new game is you just have to do that move and then adjust your sensitivity until you can do exactly the amount of turns that you want. And that way, regardless of how the scale is set up, whether it's a scale of, like it used to be 5, or 8, or 10, or 14, or even 165, whether it's a scale like that, you're able to set up your character so you can do that exact move and keep your sensitivity exactly the way you like it. So you want to match your sensitivity to it. So obviously if you're playing submachine gunning, you can have it be a little bit higher. And as you go up the ranks to assault rifle and then LMG, you want to decrease your sensitivity a little bit because you need to be more accurate. And even like DMRs or like tactical rifles, that kind of stuff, you also want to be a little bit lower. So you want to have enough flexibility. And the reason I do that particularly is because I want to have enough flexibility to make a quick turn on somebody if I need to. But I want to have it be as low as possible while still being able to do a quick 180. Because the lower it is, the more accurate you can be. And, you know, but obviously if you go too low, then you can't. Then you can't flip fast enough. So if you're running and someone comes up behind you, you want to be able to flip quickly and nail them. And so for me, that happens to be basically what I do is I do a little bit more than a half turn. So I would say I would go from like, instead of 12 to 6, I probably go about 12 to 5. So I go all the way around halfway and then a little bit past that. And I always set my sensitivity so that I can do that. So just take a look at your sensitivity. Take, you know, the guns you think you're going to be using on this next game and sort of set that up, and then you just have to grind. That's really all there is to it. It's just grinding time. And a map like this is perfect because I've been playing a lot of Blackout, and Blackout's great, except that you have so little gunfights. You have so few gunfights, and really the key is gunfights. You know, the reason why you get better as you play Call of Duty over time is because you just get in gunfight after gunfight after gunfight. Dozens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. You know, I think back to the days of Modern Warfare 3 with 47 days. I had 200 and something thousand, like 210,000 kills. And I had a 1.93 or something like that kill death. So that's 205,000 kills and like 110,000 deaths. So that means 330,000 times I got into a gunfight with somebody. So that's a massive number, and obviously you get better as you do more and more and more. So if you're playing Blackout, where you're only getting in 2, 4, maybe 6, or maybe 10 gunfights at the most in a Blackout, I mean, it depends on who you are and your playstyle, but, you know, 10 gunfights in a Blackout game, that's a lot. But in this type of game, especially on Nuketown, which is why I've been playing this, because I love Nuketown, you just get in massive amount of gunfights. Like this game, I go 44 and 5. So it's like a 12-minute game. That's a short game. But that's 49 gunfights I got in that game. That means I got in 4 gunfights every minute. And sometimes you go through a whole game of Blackout and you don't even get in 4 gunfights in a whole game. I mean, that's, you know, that's a little extreme, but... So really the key is just, you know, grinding it out and taking your aim seriously. You know, trying to be predictive. A lot of what I do, I try not to use the right stick when I'm like in a strafe battle with somebody, for example, or I'm trying to get him at a distance. I try to stay strafing with the left stick as much as possible to keep the aim on target, because the more you move with the right stick and the more you try to aim, the more you could be off, the more you could potentially be off. So I like to try to keep that as steady as possible. But of course you have to move the right stick, otherwise you're not going to be able to aim very well. So, yeah, so I would say the sensitivity is a huge part of it, and setting up the class the way you want to use it is a huge part of it. So for me, that's been submachine gunning, and I've just been practicing. I've been playing a lot. I've prestiged twice. I've gone through 2 whole prestiges. Now, double XP Nuketown, that's not saying that much, but I've probably played, 24 hours or so, like a day of playtime. And so I'm going to be stepping it up now, grinding it back up for more to be even more ready. So I'm really thrilled, guys. I'm super excited for this game. I'm basically where you guys were before you saw the reveal trailer, because I don't know what to... I mean, I've seen, like, the actual reveal trailer that came out, but I haven't seen anything for, like, multiplayer, haven't seen anything for campaign, haven't seen any of that. I don't know any guns, don't know really even the visual style, other than, again, that initial trailer, which you don't really get much from. So I am extremely thrilled. And check back soon. I'm going to do another one of these in another couple days, and it'll be a little bit different topic, and we can talk about something else, getting prepped for Modern Warfare. So I hope you guys are getting as excited as I am. Let's grind out some games, bros, and get our aim up to standard before the season starts, before this Call of Duty season starts. So appreciate you guys. See you in the next one.